I am award-winning published photographer and journalist Evan J. Thomas, and I'll be bringing you badass artists from the genres of music, art, sports, radio, as well as TV and movies. On the Badass Podcast, you will hear raw, bold, blunt, and honest conversation-style interviews where no topic is off limits. Check out the show at badassproductions1.com and go to the On-Demand tab and pull up the Badass Podcast where you can watch or listen to your favorite show. Get ready, because I am Evan J. Thomas, and this is badass.
Lightweight world champion, dangerous, David Diaz.
Welcome to the Badass Podcast. I am Evan J. Thomas, and with me on today's show, I have a former professional boxer. He has 36 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw in his career. He won the Chicago Golden Gloves 4 times. He won the National Gold Glove 3 times, and the 1996 National Gold Glove Light Welterweight Championship. He was on the 1996 Olympic team. He held the WBC lightweight title from 2007 to 2008, but unfortunately lost to Manny Pacquiao in his dream match. He retired from boxing in 2011. Currently, he's mentoring youth in Chicago. He's married, and he's a real estate broker. I'm excited to welcome to the show Dangerous David Diaz.
All right.
Did I get it?
Thank you.
No
Pleasure.
problem.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Hey, you might be able to be ring announcing some fights pretty soon.
Well, I gotta say, I was going over a lot of your video clips and just that whole match, and it had to have been unreal for you to kind of sit there in front of that stage in 2008, in front of Pacquiao coming up to you, and just having Buffer announce you like he does in that stage. What was going through your head? Because I'm watching little David Diaz at this time in the video. I mean, you're a good 13, 14 years younger. How did you feel about that?
Man, it was a great feeling, to finally be able to be at a mega fight and be part of it, be the headliner. I mean, that's what you ask for as you're growing up and in the sport of boxing. You want those type of fights. You yearn for that and desire for it. And we were able to accomplish it, Granted, it didn't turn out the way we wanted to, but, that's just the way it is. Sometimes you get certain things, and sometimes you don't get the other ones. So this was the other one I didn't get.
Yeah.
But, it's part of life. You have our ups and downs and wins, great wins and great losses. And to lose to Manny Pacquiao, I it's not too bad now. Now.
Looking at it now, you kind
Now.
it's not too bad.
Now I get it.
So I got to ask you, when you lost, how did that match affect you, or did it, emotionally, personally, anything? Did it affect you at all? Or
no, it didn't affect me to the sense that where I was like, oh, I'm done, I'm no good. No, it didn't, because I still fought. I took a time off, but it was a fight, man. I just took it as a regular fight, like a thing that I always do, and that the guy was just superior than I was in all aspects, in speed and in ring generalship and yes, he knocked me out, but he didn't hit hard. Like, for me, I was like expecting harder punches and stuff like that. But like I always tell everybody, it's the punch that you don't see coming that knocks you out, and that's what happened.
At the right time at the right spot, right?
And it is what it is, I lost that night, but it comes with the territory, man, of our sport.
And building up to that, like I mentioned at the beginning, you were in the 96 Olympics. You were on the same team with Floyd Mayweather, Fernando Vargas. You beat Zab Judah twice. going into that. Tell me about your experience in the 96 Olympics. There was a lot that happened there. You had Muhammad Ali doing the torch, hoping you got to meet him. And then, you had the bombing. You had other athletes there. It's like, what did you take out of that whole experience in Atlanta?
Well, for me, I've always wanted to be an Olympian. All right. Well, it comes down to when I was a junior, I won the Junior Olympics in the U.S. and I was able to represent the United States for the first time in a foreign country, which was Ireland. And that spark of being an Olympian, going to represent your country, was ignited that day because I was in Ireland and they were booing me because I was from America. And I was like, this is awesome. You're representing your country. They're booing me because they're obviously from Ireland and they want their guy to win. But can you imagine how this might feel when you go to the Olympics and you represent your country in the Olympics? For me, it was a dream to get there, and I was able to fulfill that. Being part of the Olympics has always been a desire of mine to be, because I also remember one time my oldest sister, she was like, she was never a fan of me boxing because she just couldn't stand the brutalness of the sport. She's like, why do you guys like it? You guys always getting hit in the head and, all this stuff. She once told me, she was like, man, why don't you just quit and go get a job? And I was like, no, I want to be in the Olympics because one day I'm going to have kids and my kids are going to say my dad's an Olympian. And people are going to make fun of my kids because, they're going to not believe them. And my kids can Google now. They don't have to go in the book anymore, but they can Google and show that I am an Olympian, that I was part of the team in 96. So that was another factor into it. But the enjoyment and the experience of being in the Olympics was great. I always say this to people because when I was growing up and wanted to be an Olympian, I always thought I would go to the Olympics in another country, and see the world per se, and it would be in Greece or or somewhere not in the U.S., right? Because as an amateur fighter, I fought pretty much New York, Florida, California, Texas. I've been all over the U.S., so I know the U.S. But I wanted to be like, okay, I'm going to go to another country and it's, going to be fun. But we end up having it where? In Atlanta, So what is it, a 9-hour drive?
Yeah.
But at that time, I was young, so I was being selfish. I wasn't thinking about my parents. I wasn't thinking about my brothers and my sisters, who at that time probably wouldn't have been able to make that trip outside of the U.S. because my parents were illegal at that time, and they probably wouldn't have been able to go see me compete in the Olympics like my dad was able to go see me, my mom, my brothers, and my sisters, friends, family. They were able to make that trip and be part of it as well, So the Olympics was great, the best thing in the world, second most important day of my life, and it's something that I think everybody should experience, whether it be through being an athlete or just going to the Olympic Games. It's a beautiful. I went on. Sorry.
No, I love you talking, and especially just telling you about your story in the Olympics. So being on that team, like I mentioned, you had Money Mayweather, Fernando Vargas, Zab Judah, who you beat twice. What did you see in those guys? Like, did you see Floyd Mayweather being like one of the greatest of all time coming up?
Well, Floyd was always special. He was a good fighter. You can't deny that of him. Did I expect him to be what he was? Of course not, man. We knew he was going to be a world champion, but just not to that magnitude. You understand? Mm-hmm. Like I seen it. Fernando obviously was going to be world champion. Tarver. We had a lot of guys. Eric Morel became a champion as well. He was our 112. David Reed, obviously the gold medal winner, he became a world champion. Myself, Fernando Vargas, we had a great team. Did we ever see Floyd like that? I don't think any of us did. We just seen that he was a good fighter. He was a special fighter, but I don't think we ever got to that point. We knew we were going to be champions because we were Olympians. We just never thought that Floyd would be the one that outshine everybody. We just never seen it like that.
Understandable. So I actually just read a little tidbit this morning from Mike Tyson. I don't know if you read this at all, but Mike Tyson actually just mentioned that Mayweather is not the greatest of all time, the GOAT. He likes watching Pacquiao more. The fact that you've been able to see Mayweather up close in person, and you got to fight Pacquiao, what do you say about Tyson's comments there?
There is some water to what he's saying. Floyd has been a great marketer boxer, and he has gotten to get the Hispanic fighting crowd against him. And what happens with that is that the people that don't like him, don't like his style of fighting, want to see him lose. So he created that villain type of character, so people can dislike him, so people can pay to see him lose. You get me?
Yeah.
So that's it. Now in the fighting, he's been a defensive fighter. He changed his style after he broke his hands in professional fight, because before, in the beginning of his career, he was a brawler. He was a fighter. He would stand in the toe-to-toe. And then later on, he got wiser. He said, man, I could box and beat these guys by boxing. So he did that. Now, just like everybody else, he fought guys that were probably on their way out, and good guys at that. De La Hoya, Pacquiao. Well, Pacquiao's still fighting, so you can't consider that he's on his way out, right? So, he fought these guys that brought in the crowd, they had a big fan base, and he ended up beating them.
I'm losing you picture-wise.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You're back.
Yeah. My bad.
And that's the other thing too. So, Mayweather has this whole stigma of hate me, but pay for me to see me.
Yes.
Yes. And he parlayed that into probably his biggest payday, fighting Conor McGregor, who basically is the same type of person.
Yeah.
So what did you think about that little get together a few years ago with McGregor?
I thought it was garbage.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it was garbage. You can see, obviously, Floyd carried McGregor. It's a big difference to take out McGregor from his habitat of wrestling and fighting and kicking to just only using two weapons.
Yep.
It's hard. You're not used to that. Of course, it's going to be difficult. Yes, he's an athlete in his respective arena. But to come over and try to do that, it's going to be hard. Any MMA fighter, it's going to be hard to just come in and do boxing. Mm-hmm. Now, the real trick is can a boxer go to the MMA and do the same thing?
Well, that's what we were hoping with Mayweather and McGregor, but obviously Mayweather knew better.
Yeah, of course.
He's not going to put himself in harm's way, as I always hear on wrestling, but,
Yeah, it's harder. It's a whole different animal on the wrestling MMA style fight, it's all a joke. Like, even that, what's that guy's name? I know you're going to get to him too.
Oh, I wasn't really going to, but
okay.
What's his name? The YouTube star dude.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Jake, what's his name? We'll just say Jake. What's his name? Because that's all.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. For me, I find it offensive. Because, okay, I get it that you're a YouTube guy and that people follow you and stuff like that. but you got 3 fights, I guess, 3 fights against people that are not really boxers, and you're calling yourself a fighter.
Yeah.
It's just a slap in the face to all the fighters that have really put their life on the line and have fought their asses off and done to try to get even 1/3 of what this kid is making. It's unreal.
And that's the thing. So his name's Jake Paul. I just looked it up real quick. So unfortunately, we threw his name out there, and now he gets more pub. But the fact that he has so many followers, and that's kind of where, unfortunately, this whole thing kind of happened, was he was a wanted man. And again, he's parlaying that hate me, hate me, hate me, watch me get my ass kicked, but I'm going to fight Nate Robinson, and I'm going to fight a UFC fighter. You know, I've been training for whatever. I'm going to fight me. You know, say he's going to fight me. He's going to whoop my ass. But you know what? He's going to make the money because people want to see him lose, and he's not going to as of yet.
Right. As of yet. Because depending on the quality of person, the opponent he gets. You know, after 5 fights, I guess, if you consider yourself a pro fighter, yeah, of course, at the beginning of your career, you're going to get a couple of guys that you're going to look good against.
Sure.
It happens in the boxing world, right? But after 5 fights, 4 fights, it's time to step up your game if you really consider yourself a fighter. And it's just one of those things that I think it's a slap in the face to the people that have really sacrificed themselves to try to become world champions, try to become real fighters. I think it's a slap in the face whenever anybody does it. Even when Floyd did it with McGregor, it's a slap in the face, to be honest with you.
It makes boxing look more comical, which it is.
Yes, very comical, and that's what I feel. Unfortunately, these kids are going that way with their hype videos and calling certain other people that don't fight out. It's not good.
It's stupid. And I want to bring up Mayweather again. So did you ever have an interest in fighting him kind of in that late 2000s? Did you have an interest with him since you were already on that cusp of fighting Pacquiao in 2008?
Well, had I fought Pacquiao, had I won with Pacquiao, I'm pretty sure something like that would have happened, because obviously that would have been his that was his nest egg, right? So it's one of the things that probably would have happened, but you know, I was not at the marketing level as Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, and I can accept that. I was a little fish I was a big fish in my pond, you know. So I can accept that, but would it have happened? I don't know. I don't think so, but you know, it's a good way. It's not a good way. It's a great thing that how he turned it out to be positive for him. You know, you got one thing I always do say is you got to take your hat off to him and his team of the way they marketed themselves and what they did to generate so much income when he fought fighters that he, you know, that were fighters, boxers. Hey, Cotto, De La Hoya, those were all big draws. Canelo, big draws, fighters, you know, and it's my hat's off to him.
Exactly. So you grew up in the Chicago area. You were raised, and how did you get into boxing anyway? Like, how were you pushed into it? Was it just being on the streets and fighting with friends and people, or just how did you end up doing it?
Well, the story goes, right? I was 8 years old. My brother used to make me fight with kids, and I was a very active kid. I guess I might have had ADHD back then, but they didn't diagnose it. They didn't have it. But they just said I was very active. My brother would make me fight with kids. And so my dad just took me one day to the boxing gym, and I fell in love with it. I loved it. I went to Wells Park. Casey Puskar, which was the coach at that time there, I went in there and I was like, hey, I want to box. And he's like, oh, you want to box? I'm like, yeah. He goes, here's a mouthpiece. At that time, we had the white rubber mouthpiece. He just tore it up, gave it to me, took it out the package and gave it to me. He's like, get in there and let me see what you got. And I went at it with the kid. I didn't win, but I think I held my own. That he said, okay, I'll show you how to fight, and that's where it began. Just getting in there and getting hit a couple of times, hitting back and not backing down was a way of him seeing that I was willing to fight. So my career started there.
That's awesome. And being in Chicago, obviously you've been posting, at least you did this past week, about what happened with Adam Toledo in Chicago and all that with the cops and everything there. So I see that you're starting a gym trying to mentor young youth, and you've been doing that basically your whole career anyway. Do you think now is even a more important time to kind of get this rolling because of how society is being looked at in the inner city and in the poor areas and stuff like that? Do you think this is what's needed?
It definitely is. Kids need to be active responsibly, right? They need to be in sports. Education is key as well, but they need an outlet so they can go have fun, be kids, and being away from the streets, man. We all know, everybody who grew up in Chicago in the rough neighborhoods, no, you stay around the neighborhood, the block, you're going to get into trouble. You're going to see the guys hanging out in the corner. You're going to want to go over there. But if you have somewhere to go, like a sport or a workout or anything to do outside of the neighborhood that you can go to and do good things about it, that's where you're going to go. That's how it got me. Boxing got me because I loved working out, right? I loved hitting the bag. I loved boxing. I thought it was fun by getting trophies and moving on into tournaments. I thought it was great. Did I have friends that were gangbangers? Yes, we all do. We all run across them. But you got to be able to know and be mentored by someone that has been there or been through the process so they can tell you, hey, look, that's not the way to go. You know, some of these kids don't have that. They don't have people that are looking out for him. This kid was 13 years old. What was he doing at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with a 20, 21-year-old? Mm-hmm. Where are the parents? Where they all say, oh, the city failed them. No, the first person that failed them was the mom, the dad. The second people that failed him were the people around him that knew him, right? Those are the people that failed Adam Toledo, in my opinion. With mentors, people that seen him day in and out. This is a 13-year-old kid running around with some guys that are 20, 22, 23. What is a young kid doing with that?
Yeah.
No, there has to be another outlet. There has to. Sports need to get back into the kids' life. It helped me out. It will definitely help other kids out. Our program, what we're trying to do with it is obviously right now is through baseball, because we have a lot of people that are doing baseball right now, and it can be done. Boxing, unfortunately, right now we can't have boxing. There's no boxing in the park districts. All our boxing events for the summer are canceled. The Golden Gloves just got canceled. You see? So this is affecting a lot of kids that would normally be in the gym working out to try to win the Golden Gloves, to try to win tournaments. So like that, they qualify for other tournaments, is being taken away. And it's hurting.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, especially with the pandemic, because like you said, people are, stuck in their homes, and then all they could do is basically up to no good unless, like you said, there's a way to get out of it or to mentor, have somebody pull them out of it, which is probably not the easiest thing to do because a lot of kids don't really trust adults. Right. But they need the structure. The structure is basically what builds it. Playing football, playing baseball, boxing, whether it's kickboxing or martial arts or anything, just working out at the gym. You need something to kind of, alleviate any tension and all that shit too.
Yeah.
It's just tough right now. And then obviously with everything everybody sees on TV, it's always the bad. They never show the good. They need to get you on the freaking news and like promote what you're doing, because you're one of these people that can pull these kids out of the shit and get them moving.
And that's what we want to do, man. And I say we because there's a bunch of us, the gentlemen that part of this whole group. They're all guys that want to see kids do better. We have a police officer who helps out with the pitching because he pitched. Now he didn't make it big, but he went to the college level, right? And he pitched. So he tells the kids, man, it's beautiful, it's fun, doing it right, doing it the right way. Let's get you guys strong. Let's get you guys in school, you know. And then we have another guy there that helps out that is a hitting coach, you know, and same way. He tells them about school and about doing the right thing and staying away from people that are bad. So we have a good group of people that want to do great for the kids.
And do me a favor, promote what you're doing, website or where we can find everything.
Well, at the moment right now, it's just called the Clubhouse.
Okay.
But we're starting our nonprofit, which is called the Clubhouse Community Center. Right now, we're just not stuck, but we're just doing the baseball and trying to mentor through there. We're located at 5655 West Belmont. And once we get our nonprofit, we're obviously going to be able to do a little bit more stuff where we go out into the community and reach the kids that need it. And again, it's not just going to be about baseball, and it's not just going to be about boxing. Wherever the kid decides to go, we're going to try to help him out to try to get to that avenue that leads him to where he wants to go or what he's dreaming of doing, you know, whether it could be an EMT, it could be a teacher, it doesn't have to be generally just sports, but it's a way to get there.
Yeah, I'm scrolling all over your Facebook right now, and all I keep seeing is these people sharing your discipline equals freedom post there. So it's pretty freaking cool with the gym and everything. And
yeah,
your story. So it's pretty damn good.
Thank you.
So.
Well, I can't take credit myself. You know, there's a lot of guys that have the group that we have as collectively for the Clubhouse is Francisco Bonilla, George Matos, Noel Arziaga, and oh man, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. He's the hitting coach, and his name is just blanking me right now.
We'll dub it in later. So
yeah.
No, but I also see that Rashid Davis is kind of doing stuff. Are you working with him too?
No, well, he just shared it. Shared it. He's a good friend of mine. We've been. I actually trained him a little bit when I had the Cicero gym. He would come down from his home to work out at the gym and stuff like that. So, you know, he's a good friend.
And how do we get more press for you guys? I mean, I have yet to see this on the news, but all I see is the bad. So how can we get this all over? Obviously, my podcast hopefully might help, but I haven't about it. But, you know, we need you're the, and I hate to say it, you're the face of the thing because of who you are. The other guys you mentioned are definitely big helps and will definitely help people going forward, but you're the face.
Robin Ahmed. Robin.
All right.
You know, Robin, I'm sorry, boss. I blanked out. But yeah, Robin is our hitting coach, and he does an excellent job there with the kids. And he's a guy that he's awesome with the kids there. So he has a lot to do with this as well. But back to what you were saying about promoting. Once we get our stuff up and running, I definitely will be reaching out back to you so you can help us just promote it and just see what happens, what becomes of it. We're definitely going to try to put boots on the ground and start reaching out to these kids so we can help them out. At the end of the day, it's just they probably just need to listen to somebody or talk to somebody, and we'll take it from there and see what they want to do, what they want to get done in life, what they see themselves doing. Because we gotta we got to talk to these kids and letting them know that anything they think of being or dream of being can be accomplished. Is it going to take hard work? Is it going to take dedication? Is it going to take sacrifice? Yes, of course it is. And they got to be willing to put that in. They got to put in that sweat equity into their dreams so we can help them out and get there. But it can be accomplished.
Yeah, it definitely can be accomplished. It does take work, and unfortunately, because of the times we're in, it'll take probably a little bit more work than it normally would, especially 15, 20 years ago, where it seemed like it was more prevalent, where there were kids doing things, but it's just the times we're in.
Yeah.
So another thing I noticed too that you do, and you've done this with a lot of kids in hospitals, is you go and you kind of meet you for a day and kind of hang out with them and talk with them. Talk to me about how that affects you as a person, to kind of, you're sought out to be somebody that these kids want to actually talk to who are not doing well in the hospital. How does that affect you as a person?
Well, it since I have kids, man, you know, it hits hard because these kids that are, and what you're talking about is the MDA that I've done.
Make-a-wish stuff.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And it just breaks my heart that these kids are not any fault of their own, right? But it's just what the cards were dealt to the family or to the kid, that sometimes it's not fair. That it just breaks your heart, you know. I've been blessed. My kids are healthy at the moment. That they're able to walk around and do a lot of good things. Where these kids, for us to just be a part of their life for a little bit means a lot to them, because they're looked on as regular kids at that time, you know. So it does hurt. It feels good to do it, to be part of it. But it also makes you appreciate it and understand what other people are going through.
Yeah, there was a family that I know, Jamie and Ryan Edmondson.
Yes.
You've met.
Yes.
And you helped him, and she talks about you and how amazing you are and how you've been to Ryan. So I know it kind of chokes me up a little bit talking about you, but it's just things you do, you know. It's awesome that you're able to do that and make somebody smile when they might not be doing the best in life. So.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you look at it and you say, man, that's not right. So why kids are awesome. Kids have, and sometimes them kids, instead of us lifting them up, man, they lift you up because of the way their attitude is towards what they're dealing with, man. It's unreal sometimes.
Yeah. So I'm going to put this off to the back end because now I don't want to get tear up or anything.
Yeah.
I kind of did for a moment there, but I want to talk about your transition from the boxing ring to what you do now, because you're in the real estate business.
Yes.
How was that transition from being a world champion boxer to going to as a quote unquote say regular job?
I don't know, man. I the world champion thing was great, was cool and stuff like that, but I never saw it as I'm above anybody. You understand? So like when I meet people now through real estate and they say that, I'm like, yes, yeah, I was the world champion, I was a fighter, but now I do real estate. How can I help you?
I'm going to sell you a house, damn it, or sell you a house.
How can I help you purchase your home, or how can I help you sell the home? You know, so it's a different animal, but I still treat it like a competitive sport.
And how has the business been doing? Obviously, the past year or so probably not that good, but since you started, how has your business done?
Our business has been great, to be honest with you. Even now, we're doing good. properties right now is what we don't have is properties. We have a lot of people that are looking to purchase, but unfortunately right now it's a seller's market, and sellers are getting good money for their homes because there's not a lot of property out there.
And
So
what area do you work? Do you work all over Chicagoland?
I work all over Chicagoland. I tell everybody, listen, I have a license in the state of Illinois. So if wherever I can help you, even if it's in Decatur, Illinois, if I can't go down there, I'll find somebody to help you out down there. Don't worry about it. As long as we're in here in Illinois.
And what's the name of your real estate, the company you work for?
It's actually ours. It's called Main Event Real Estate Group.
Okay.
Yeah. The actual boss and owner of the company is my wife.
Is she back behind you somewhere?
Yeah, she's back here now. No, it's actually my wife is the managing broker. We own the company, but my wife is the managing broker here at Main Event. So we have about 14 real estate agents here. We're having a meeting upstairs, but I'm here with you, which is good. And we're all here exploring new ways of how to get buyers into homes and how to get more sellers to put up their house on the market.
Gotcha. And what future plans do you have going forward? Obviously, you want to build this business. You want to do the mentoring thing. Your family's growing. What else can we see from David Diaz in the next couple of years? What do you think you got?
Man, I don't know. Entrepreneurship, definitely more buildings, more kids, helping kids get out of
not more kids, but
not more kids. No, we're done. Helping kids. That's going to be our next thing, where we take our non-for-profit to big, to being an important part of the city. If we were able to do it through boxing and become that, I think we could make the Clubhouse a recognized non-for-profit place where kids come and be proud of belonging to the Clubhouse, and then go from there and see where it leads us. But we definitely do want to make an impact in kids' life and steer them in the right direction. And to be part of that is going to be great.
That's amazing. Do you guys have a website and social media and all of that for that?
We have a social media for the Clubhouse, which is the training facility right now. It's just called the Clubhouse. It's on Facebook, on Instagram, and the website is called the Clubhouse.
And then obviously you got Main Event Real Estate.
Yeah, maineventrealestate.com. And then you guys can reach me at David Diaz on Facebook. David Diaz or David at maineventrealestate.com is my email. But I'm more accessible through Facebook. So
you definitely are. I do have to say, you and I have had some conversations that way. So
yeah, Facebook is my go-to media thing that I use, and that's it.
And check out some cool ass fights with him. Just go to YouTube and pull up some of the old grainy video back when he was like
yeah.
Now he's a grizzled vet in his 40s. So
40s. Yeah. Man, I can't believe I'm gonna hit the 45 this year, man.
Hey, I just passed that last year. I'm 46 now. So
yeah.
I just didn't take the beating to the face that you did. So
yeah, look at that, man. That's how it is, Well, they say I still have a cent or two left, so we'll see how that goes.
Hey, get that dream match now with Mayweather. Maybe he might want to fight you now.
Yeah, no,
or Diaz.
This is how bad. This is how bad our boxing has gotten to, where, I don't think I'm not. How can I not bad, but where I'm gonna say bad for the current fighters, right? Where they're not getting any publicity or any names or anybody out there, that the old fighters have to come back and please the crowd for people to start watching boxing again. That's, for the guys that are making their money back again, God bless them. Huh?
Where did that go? How did that happen where all of a sudden there's like no name fighters anymore?
I don't know, man.
Because I love watching boxing. I've loved watching boxing since I was a kid. But nowadays, you don't have the Lennox Lewis's, the Evander Holyfields, the Mike Tysons, even recently you and Pacquiao in the past 10, 15 years.
Right.
It's like, who's coming up that you could even like look at anymore? And please
that you have that feeling of, okay, this guy's going to be awesome. He's going to give us great fights, and it's going to be a great show every time he's on there. We're boxing right now. Professional boxing is I don't know. It's I guess in dark ages, you would say.
Yeah. Do we need bigger, better promoters? I know Don.
But I think, yeah, probably. That's what it is.
And not having a crazy ass $50 pay-per-view might also help.
That, yeah, man. That and then just having the fights more accessible. I mean, I get it where we're at right now, pandemic-wise and everything like that. But I don't know. Just start making fights that people will get back to the seats or buy them from TV that are good fights. That just gets better matchmaking, better guys that accept the challenge of fighting probably an undefeated guy and have the risk of losing their undefeated record, but at least you'll know that you went toe-to-toe with a good guy.
Exactly.
Maybe that'll help.
But again, it's promotion. You got to promote these guys from the beginning, kind of build them up. Unfortunately, hopefully you don't have them lose within the first 10 fights.
Right.
You got to build them up to like a 20-something-0 record and go from there.
But see, okay, and there's nothing wrong with getting a 20-0 record, but that you have fought good fights, that you have fought formidable opponents. Like now, if you come to a crossroads where it's you 15-0 with a guy who's 15-0, why not take that fight? Why not take it?
Exactly. They don't want to lose. That's the thing.
And that's the problem. Nobody wants to lose. There's going to be losers. There has to be losers. But even with that, by you losing that one fight does not mean that you're not going to make it to a championship. It just means you have to work that much harder.
Exactly.
So, but they don't like to work, man. They just want to get the paycheck and then say that they boxed and that's it.
Well, David, man, I really appreciate you jumping on with me today. I know, like you said, there's a meeting going on upstairs. So make sure you guys follow David all over his social media. David Diaz, also, what was it, Main Event Real Estate.com. And then also Clubhouse in Chicago. He has a Facebook page. And this podcast will be up in a few days. So I'll send you the link when it's done. But, dude, so much fun finally having you on here. And just love being able to talk with you, and hopefully we could definitely do it again.
Definitely, and I appreciate it. I appreciate the time and look forward to it.
Maybe I got to get out to the Clubhouse and do a little walkthrough with you guys too.
Oh, that would be awesome. Definitely.
I would love that.
I'd appreciate that.
All right, man. Well, you enjoy your afternoon, and I will definitely talk to you soon, man.
All right, my man. Take it easy.
All right, David. Peace out.
All right.
I am award-winning published photographer and journalist Evan J. Thomas, and I'll be bringing you badass artists from the genres of music, art, sports, radio, as well as TV and movies. On the Badass Podcast, you will hear raw, bold, blunt, and honest conversation-style interviews where no topic is off limits. Check out the show at badassproductions1.com and go to the On Demand tab and pull up the Badass Podcast where you can watch or listen to your favorite show. Get ready, because I am Evan J. Thomas, and this is badass.